if I had to pick him or her for basketball, I have to say, I think you just have to give it to the GOAT, LeBron. And if we do the LeBron or MJ conversation, I'm going to lean over to the LeBron side. I'm going to have to say him in football is Lamar Jackson, Marvelous, Himothy, him Kardashian.
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of different movies where when you throw sports in with a talented actor, it don't look the same. It don't look good. There's so many things to say, but I want to start by the physical, mental, emotional toll. How do you
Yeah.
prepare for a role like this?
Yeah, I think a lot of my preparation was helped by me being able to, be on a team back in the day, Florida State college football. I think I used that direct experience and applied it to this journey of training to be a quarterback. And I think a lot of the physical training, spilled over to, the mental, emotional capacity it took to bring this character to life. So yeah, it was. I think it was a mix between, working with my trainer, who really like taught me how to meditate, how to really speak to myself kindly. And I think that's a big important part to making sure your vessel for this type of movie is taken care of. Because it did catch me off guard how rigorous the training was for this film, because I thought it was going to be easier to play quarterback um, in a movie rather than a real quarterback, which obviously a real quarterback is tough. But I paid so much attention to the detail that the training was really really tough, 6 days a week, twice a day, and then training with a NFL quarterback. But yeah, I think there's nothing to it but to do it at the end of the day. So, and just having the right village around you to carry you over the finish line.
That's a fact. I feel like that's the best thing you said. That village in life, it's a
Yeah,
necessity, and you can't be successful without it. I've seen a
yeah.
lot of different movies where when you throw sports in with a talented actor, it don't look the same. It don't look good. I will be honest, but watching you throw the football, watching
Yeah,
position, everything, it looked like you just locked in.
I
So that
appreciate
was
that.
no all. I pay attention to all that. And there's a lot of movies we
Yeah,
could talk about that. The
yeah,
hoopers and the football players, y'all don't do this, man. So
yeah. I want to do a basketball movie one day, but maybe I train a little longer for that one. But
yeah,
I got some handles here and there.
man. Listen, we all played at one point.
Yeah,
Let me get over to the next question so we can stay on
yeah.
topic. So how did you approach portraying fear or tension in such an intense physiological thriller? Does it take you time to snap out of that after? Like, how quick of a adjustment is that?
Yeah, I think a lot of this film is high intense, stressful moments, and I think the immense amount of focus it takes um, to really be truthful in a scene. I think a lot of people don't know what it's like to react to the scary parts of a film, but sometimes it's the most fun part of making the film, because you have to tap into that little kid and make believe, because a lot of things you see in the final edit is done in post production. And so I wouldn't say it was tough to get out of that mindset, because working with Marlon Wayans, he's gonna make you laugh one way or another. And I think that's the beauty of working with somebody you've looked up to, working with a comedian, because he was there to really take me under his wing. And I think coming from the athletic side of performing, we perfect things, and it's not perfect. Jobs never finish, and I got locked into that mindset to where like you felt like you had to be miserable to feel like you were doing real work. And
Yeah.
Marlon was there to remind me that like you can do the work with a smile and make other people smile. So yeah, it wasn't. I think it was that working with Marlon helped me learn that transition.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Was that a Bean reference I heard in there? Job's not finished. Kobe Bryant.
Yep, yep, yep.
I love that. I love that,
Job
man.
finished?
You snuck that in there.
I know,
Nah,
bro.
Marlon, like I'm so used to seeing him in a like comedic role, and when I say like I was thoroughly impressed by his intensity,
Yeah,
your intensity, you guys played off one another like tremendously. I'm a super big movie guy, so just watching y'all really like just dive deep into those roles, it was super
yeah.
dope. It was super
But I
dope.
think what's beautiful about Marlon is he's such a light, but you know how much darkness it takes to get to that light, you know?
Yeah,
And I think he was just showing the immense amount of pain that he's been through over the decades. And I think that's the beauty that, like, seeing him perform in this movie, he served as a vessel for those who feel and have been through those things. And you know, that's all I ask is for to be a vessel and show life through my performance.
love that, man. Love that.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Next question. So it's said a lot in the movie. What are you
mm,
willing to sacrifice? How
right.
much of that resonates with you? Like how to get where you are, to be in this position you're in. Like obviously we all sacrifice. I played professionally overseas and I have to sacrifice family for 8 months out of the year, every
Yeah,
year, multiple years. Like what does that mean to you? Like where does that go with
yeah,
you?
yeah. It's like it depends on you know what the dream is and what you know how bad I really want something. And I think there's a healthy balance, right? I think some people have the privilege of chasing a dream and can be around family more often than others. But you know, I have missed birthdays. I have sacrificed time with you know my own brother who ended up passing away in 2021. So
Sorry to hear
I
that.
think that I appreciate that. I think that was one of the most pivotal times in my life because I was so cutthroat. Like, oh, I must be miserable. I haven't made it. I haven't made it. I haven't made it. Couldn't have fun. Couldn't go out with friends. And you know, it was a weird time in life where COVID was a thing. But now my relationship is, I think there's a healthy balance, and I think you know, at the end of the day, tomorrow isn't promised. So if I really lived and locked in and missed those moments that make us human, then what am I really doing? And then you accomplish certain goals, and it never feels like you think it would feel like. So I think
Yeah.
having a having a healthy relationship with it all, you know, I think there's levels of sacrifice you have to make, but you don't have to like completely cut out XYZ for it. And I honestly, there's boundaries I draw in the sand where this is where I'm standing 10 toes down, and I'm not going to fold on my morals for to get to that next level. And I think that's you know a universal experience that people have to go through.
Got you. Got you. I love
Yeah.
that, man. Well, you and Marlon been on a great press run. What was it like
Mhm.
working with him? Were there any fun or unexpected moments between you two behind the scenes?
Yeah, no, fun. I say fun. We had a lot of laughs. You know, one time he threw. He was jealous because he had to go work on. He was doing stand up on the weekend, so he was balancing making a movie and continuing his stand up, which is a testament to the levels art, his level of artistry. But I threw, I threw like a pre-filming like kickback at my house with some of the crew just to you know get everybody acclimated to each other, enjoy like some you know burgers, some steaks and whatnot. And I messed up because I didn't vet the grill master, and they didn't clean the chicken, so nobody ate the food. Like
I'm
nobody,
way.
the grill master was like, "Wait, you clean chicken?" Like you know, we were like,
That's
"Wait."
crazy.
So we were just all hanging out, eating snacks. But Marlon wasn't there, and then Marlon found out, and he was teasing me, and so uh, his get back was him throwing his form of a get together, but it was 4 times the size of mine. He had like a poster, but he made this he had like this cutout of him, and then he had this smaller cutout of me, and you know, in real life, that's not the case. But yeah, and his had a theme. He had a open bar. He had a real like catering company. And he was like, "This is how you do it." So I took notes on that, but I learned my lesson not to invite Marlon, not invite Marlon to things.
Got you. Nah, that sounds a lot like the Kevin Hart and Rock or Nick Cannon relationship. Like that's a perfect example of that. Like I feel like when
And
you have that type of camaraderie is the best.
yeah, and mine was a potluck. You bring stuff to it. He like covered everything.
He said, "I got it all. Don't trip. Don't trip. I've been
Yeah,
in
no
it for
trip.
decades." I love it. I love that. Let me get to the next question. All right.
Yeah.
So our past few guests, such as Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler, compared the partnerships of Denzel, Michael B. Jordan to legendary duos. I know this is your first film with Marlon, but what duo do you compare yourself to? Your chemistry was excellent in the film. How did that develop?
It's a
Give me a
great
good
one.
duo. Give me a good duo. Give me.
Duo. I'm trying to think of like the Uncle Neff duo. You know what I'm saying? Like I really feel like a nephew, one of the Wayans. Dang. Give me. You said a good one, Kevin Hart and The Rock. Because like Kevin Hart's like the comedian of it all, but like
Yeah.
and The Rock's more of like the straight man, and he can throw jokes here and there. I'm trying to give one a
Yeah.
duo. I say Batman and Robin. No.
That's funny, bro.
Um,
That's funny.
you know he,
Spike said that too.
you know, yeah, he almost, Marlon almost did Robin back in the '90s. He old, so he was,
Really? I didn't know that. I
yeah,
didn't-
yeah. He said he was almost cast. Well, maybe.
Wow.
Hopefully, I'm telling the right thing because then I'm just putting words in his mouth. I'm really trying to think of a good duo. I would say Bad Boys. Bad Boys. I say Martin
Hey, I
Lawrence, Will
like
Smith.
that.
Uh,
I like that.
Yeah, so I'd say that,
That's
and
fine.
I would love to do something like that, like more buddy action comedy with Marlon. I think this is not the end of the road of our working relationship.
Yeah, I hope not, because the
Yeah,
chemistry, the vibe, the super good. It
yeah,
felt so natural. Just watching it, I felt super
yeah.
natural. Um,
That's real.
okay, so me and a couple friends were talking. What was the most challenging scene in this movie to film? Why?
The most challenging scene I think for me was the Last Supper scene where he's talking about his father who
That's what I
passed
was
away,
thinking.
and yeah. And it's crazy because it's edited in a way where it's like a lot shorter than what it really was when we were filming it, because it's like a monologue.
Yeah,
And then for the essence of the film, it's delivered in a certain specific way to make more sense. But yeah, I think that one was tough because as men, you're not taught, vulnerability to show emotions, and that was a moment where Justin Tippin
yeah,
pushed me to a place where I had to be honest with my life experience, and he had a conversation with me about his father he lost, and that was the level of empathy I had, and that experience was cathartic because if you watch that scene, I just kind of spoke from a place of like realness, of like what Tyreek was feeling, and in a sense of I ad libbed the word, the sentence, "I let him down." I kept repeating it. I let him down. I let
yeah,
him down. And then going back to your previous question, where you're like, do you feel like you could sacrifice a lot? What are you willing to sacrifice? And for me, I feel like I sacrificed time with him, or with my nephew after he passed. I chose to like pursue my dreams even more instead of going back home and getting a job so I can take care of my nephew. And then in that moment, I was really feeling like I let him down. I let him down. And yeah, I think that one's like a very emotional moment. And I just hope people see that and like know that it is okay to not be okay and to feel and cry, um, especially as a man, as a black man, and whatnot. So yeah, that one's probably the toughest one emotionally. How did football prepare me for action? Yeah, I think the level of is that yeah. I think the level of discipline it takes to be a football player, you learn to perfect things that you're not good at, and so I think the tenacity, the perseverance, the dedication it takes to be a high level Division 1 is waking up at 5:30, going to the gym, going to classes. Right after that, and I it was a walk on. I didn't get a golf cart to class, so I had to run to class and then finish classes at 2:15. I had a team meeting and then another a position meeting, and then go on the field and practice, and then we had recovery. I think that cadence of things, you apply it to acting, because when you're not good at something, you perfect it at such a rate that, like, I'm not stopping until I'm decent at this. And I think that's why I'm able to make a couple waves in my industry because of sports. So if I had to pick a him or her for acting, I'd have to say her in acting, 100%. Jennifer Lawrence. I think she Hunger Games, one of the top. That's on my letterbox top four, and her level of performance and her comedy, and her groundedness and coming from a real vulnerable place. I think she carries herself well. Through interviews, I aspire to be as witty as her. So I love J Law and the field of acting. Football, I'm gonna have to say him in football is Lamar Jackson, marvelous, Himothy, uh, him Kardashian. No, I think. Florida boy, I'm a Florida boy, so but I think, seeing his journey to the top and, carrying a franchise in Baltimore, uh yeah, and then his swagger offset, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't allow people to get him off kilter. He's just really about the game, and he comes from a real place, a real human, losing loved ones, and even loved ones on the same day. I think, I see, like, the pain that he carries, and he's able to show up every Sunday. And for basketball, I have to say, I'm trying not to give an obvious one, uh, but I think you just have to give it to the GOAT, LeBron. Uh, and if we do the LeBron or MJ conversation, I'm gonna lean over to the LeBron side. I think his documentary for St. Vincent St. Mary's, was it Is More Than a Game? Is that documentary? I think, yeah, I grew up off that. If I'm getting the title wrong, I apologize. But yeah, I grew up off that, and I think um, that's the epitome of somebody who's him, is seeing that journey but inspiring others. And he's been on my I have had a poster of him on my wall growing up when he was for the Cavaliers, uh and whatnot. So yeah, LeBron, all the way. And I remember his shoes, the South Beaches, were one of the my holy grails that I could never get my hands on. So yeah, LeBron. So what's coming up? What's coming up next for me? So right now, I just want to get this movie out, and hopefully people resonate with it. And I think, I want to meet different filmmakers when it comes to, now that my work is out there to the world. Um, but yeah, I have a movie coming out next March 2026, called Reminders of Him. That is a former football player, so it's the him universe. Um, and yeah, it's a story about love, grief, loss, and motherhood. And I think it's going to really speak to people who've lost loved ones and had to live in that grief and care for someone, while that hurt is still there. So yeah, it's a Colleen Hoover book adaptation, and yeah, that comes out March 2026 in theaters.